Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about metal oxide semiconductor transistors, for example the popular MOSFETs. And by the end of this video you will have a great, amazing understanding and intuition on how they work. But I'm not going to cover how to use them because there's 1 million other videos that do that. So here you have a drawing that I made by hand for you. So we have a source, gate and drain, which are the three usual pins of a transistor. So this is pretty standard. The source is the input, the drain is the output, and the gate is the pin that controls the flow of the electricity, of the current. If you have trouble imagining that, you can imagine the water analogy for electricity, which is really popular and which actually aligns with the words source and drain. Imagine water flowing and the gate being something that closes to disable the flow of water. I think this analogy is useful for beginners, but if you want to understand electronics from a physics and electromagnetism point of view, I would advise you to leave that alone, or maybe leave that for specific situations. So let's talk about what's going on here. The two other things that are on this drawing are the isolation or insulation, really the same thing, usually made out of oxide, silicon dioxide for example. We have the semiconductor, and the semiconductor is the really important thing. I think it's also usually silicon. It has a really interesting ability to sometimes allow for current to flow and sometimes not. That's why it's called a semiconductor. So semi is like a prefix that usually means kinda. So now let's see it from a different perspective. Here we have the same situation, and as you can see, there is no path for the current to flow, right? Because the semiconductor is not conducting, there is no way for the current to flow. It cannot flow for the isolation, of course, that's really like duh. So now here's the key thing to remember. The medium for electricity to flow are free electrons. If you ever saw an image of copper atoms, they have free electrons floating around. That's why they are great conductors. So what can we do to form a path of nice electrons for the current to flow from source to drain? Spoiler alert, capacitor! The answer to that question is to apply a voltage to the gate. So now if you recall from physics, or as you recall from how a capacitor works, if you put positive charges, they will induce negative charges on the other plate of the capacitor that is forming right here. When we have negative charges, this means we have electrons forming right here. So the current coming from the source can flow through and everything will work. The water is flowing, the electricity is flowing, motors are spinning, and LEDs are shining. So now, as you can see, a capacitor has formed, and as I increase the voltage on the gate, more and more electrons are generated on the channel that has formed, and the current can flow more easily. So this is very useful if you want to control, for example, the speed of a DC motor or the brightness of an LED or a lamp. Interestingly, if now I take out the voltage, the capacitor stays charged, which means the transistor holds its state until, of course, it discharges. As long as the capacitor is charged, the current can flow. It's really interesting. It can also be used for certain specific applications. So I hope you enjoyed the video, learned something, or at least got some intuition. I think intuition is very important, especially in engineering and science, etc. Please subscribe, like, and comment to support my channel and see more of my videos. And see you in the next one. Thank you. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.